Did you know that Canada, the country known for welcoming over 400,000 immigrants every year, is suddenly changing the rules in 2026? Some headlines are even screaming that it's closing its doors completely to newcomers. Imagine planning your life, dreaming of studying, working, or starting a new chapter in Canada, and then suddenly, the path you counted on seems to vanish. It sounds unbelievable, almost like a plot twist straight out of a thriller. But the reality is stranger than fiction. What's really going on behind the headlines? Are the doors truly locked? Or is there something more subtle happening that most people aren't noticing? The government has introduced major changes to visa programs, stricter screening, and limited temporary stays, sparking confusion and fear. People are questioning whether Canada is still the land of opportunity it's always been. In this video, we'll uncover 10 shocking reasons why Canada seems to be shutting its doors, explain what these changes really mean, and separate fact from sensationalized fiction. By the end, you'll know exactly what's happening and how it affects anyone dreaming of calling Canada home. Number 1. Canada isn't truly closing its doors. Believe it or not, despite the dramatic headlines claiming Canada is shutting down immigration in 2026, the truth is far less extreme. The Canadian government still plans to welcome hundreds of thousands of new residents, including skilled workers, students, and family reunifications. What's really happening is a restructuring of immigration priorities rather than an outright closure. The focus is shifting toward applicants with skills that match the current labor market and long-term economic needs. This means that while some pathways may be more competitive or temporarily limited, the doors themselves remain open for those who meet the new criteria. Many people are confused because the numbers in certain categories, such as temporary workers or startup entrepreneurs, have been adjusted downward. Media outlets often frame this as a crisis or lockout, creating panic among potential immigrants. In reality, the government is trying to balance population growth, job market demand, and integration capacity. By tightening certain programs and emphasizing skill-based intake, Canada is aiming for a more sustainable approach rather than completely halting immigration. This subtlety is often lost in sensational headlines, which is why so many are shocked when they hear the news. Ultimately, the idea that Canada is closing its doors is a misconception fueled by misunderstanding and selective reporting. The country remains one of the most open in the world for immigrants, but the rules are evolving. Those who understand the changes and prepare accordingly still have a clear path to move, work, or study in Canada. The key is staying informed, knowing which programs are prioritized, and adjusting applications to align with the new government guidelines. What do you think about Canada's new immigration rules? Fair or too strict? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe with just one click to stay updated on every major change. Number 2. Temporary residents face tighter limits. Many people are surprised to learn that while permanent immigration continues, temporary residents such as students and workers are now facing stricter limits in 2026. The government has reduced the number of visas available for some categories, especially those that were previously easier to obtain. This change is meant to ensure that the influx of temporary residents does not overwhelm housing, healthcare, or job markets, but for those planning to move to Canada, it can feel like the doors are suddenly closing. Understanding these adjustments is crucial for anyone hoping to live, study, or work in Canada temporarily. Experts explain that the competition for temporary permits has increased significantly, meaning applicants must meet higher standards or present skills and qualifications that align directly with Canada's labor market needs. Unlike before, when many permits were issued to a broad range of applicants, now only those who fit specific criteria have a realistic chance. This has caused widespread confusion, as media outlets often highlight the reduced numbers without explaining the reasoning behind them. In essence, the country isn't rejecting newcomers, it's prioritizing applicants who can contribute immediately to the economy. Ultimately, while these changes may seem dramatic, they represent a strategic approach to immigration management rather than a complete shutdown. Temporary residents who are well-prepared, informed about program updates, and meet the new requirements still have strong opportunities to enter Canada. For anyone planning ahead, understanding these limitations and adapting applications accordingly will be the key to success. The narrative of closed doors is more about perception than reality, and preparation can make all the difference. Do you think Canada's stricter rules for temporary residents are fair? Comment below and subscribe with just one click to stay updated on every major immigration change. Number 3. Startup Visa Program paused. Surprisingly, one of the programs that has fueled Canada's reputation as a haven for entrepreneurs, the Startup Visa Program, has been paused in 2026. This move has caused panic among aspiring business owners around the world, who saw Canada as a land of opportunity to launch innovative startups. The government's official reasoning is that they are restructuring the program to better align it with economic needs, focusing on startups that have the highest potential for job creation and long-term growth. While it may seem like Canada has closed the door on entrepreneurial immigration, the reality is more nuanced. Experts highlight that the pause is temporary, and the government plans to introduce a refined pilot program in the near future. Applicants who were considering the old system will need to adapt to new guidelines, submit more detailed business plans, and demonstrate stronger alignment with Canada's economic priorities. This makes the pathway more competitive, but not impossible. The media often frames this as an immigration shutdown because the program is no longer open in its previous form. But in truth, Canada is simply raising the standards for high-impact business migrants. For entrepreneurs, this change emphasizes the importance of preparation, research, and strategic planning. Those who are aware of the upcoming rules and ready to adjust their proposals can still secure a place in Canada's entrepreneurial ecosystem. Understanding the reasoning behind the pause, economic alignment, job creation, and sustainability turns what looks like a roadblock into an opportunity for those who are prepared. The key takeaway is that Canada is not rejecting innovation. It is simply targeting the most promising projects. Are you an entrepreneur affected by Canada's startup visa pause? Drop your thoughts in the comments and subscribe with just one click to stay ahead of all immigration updates. Number 4. Higher competition for express entry invitations. For many skilled workers around the world, express entry has been the golden ticket to Canada, offering a fast and structured path to permanent residency. However, in 2026, the competition is becoming fiercer than ever. With the government focusing on applicants with in-demand skills and higher comprehensive ranking system, CRS, scores, the number of invitations issued has become more selective. This means that while the system is still open, only candidates who align closely with Canada's labor market needs have a realistic chance of success. For those unfamiliar with the changes, it may feel like the doors are shutting, even though the system itself remains intact. Analysts point out that this shift is part of a larger strategy to match skilled immigrants with Canada's economic priorities. Previous years allowed a broader range of applicants to receive invitations, but now the government is targeting workers in sectors where shortages are critical, such as healthcare, technology, and skilled trades. This increases the CRS threshold, creating a bottleneck effect for candidates who may have qualified easily in the past. It's not a denial of opportunity, but rather a refinement of priorities, ensuring that newcomers can integrate quickly and make immediate contributions to the workforce. Ultimately, higher competition for express entry underscores the importance of preparation, research, and adaptability. Prospective immigrants must now focus on improving their qualifications, gaining relevant experience, and strategically timing their applications. Understanding these changes can turn what seems like an obstacle into a calculated opportunity. Canada remains welcoming, but with a sharper focus on who can contribute most effectively to its economy. Those who understand the system and adapt accordingly will still have a strong chance of success. Are you ready to compete in Canada's tougher express entry system? Share your thoughts below and subscribe with just one click to stay updated on every critical immigration change. Number 5. Provincial programs have changed or closed. Across Canada, many provinces offer their own immigration streams to attract talent that meets local needs. However, in 2026, several provincial nominee programs, PNPs, have been adjusted or temporarily closed, creating confusion for applicants. Programs that once offered easier pathways for certain professions or regions are no longer available, leaving some hopeful immigrants wondering if Canada is suddenly off-limits. In reality, these changes are part of a strategic shift to ensure provinces can manage their labor markets, housing, and infrastructure effectively. The programs are evolving, not disappearing, and understanding the new criteria is critical for anyone planning to move to Canada through a provincial route. Officials explain that the modifications are designed to target applicants whose skills and experience align directly with regional economic priorities. Provinces are now focusing on sectors experiencing acute shortages, from healthcare and technology to trades and education. Applicants who don't meet these specific criteria may need to consider alternative pathways, such as express entry or federal programs. While the closures of certain streams make headlines and spark fear, they are a way to prioritize quality and economic integration over quantity, ensuring that newcomers can thrive and contribute immediately. For prospective immigrants, staying informed about these changes is essential. By researching each province's updated programs and tailoring applications to meet the new requirements, candidates can still successfully gain entry. What looks like a sudden restriction is often just a recalibration of opportunities, allowing Canada to continue welcoming newcomers while maintaining stability and economic alignment. Being proactive and prepared turns perceived obstacles into actionable strategies for immigration success. Have provincial program changes affected your Canada plans? Comment your experience below, and subscribe with just one click to stay informed about every major immigration update. Number 6. Stricter visa screening rules in 2026. In 2026, Canada is implementing stricter visa screening rules, which is causing concern for many prospective immigrants. Unlike previous years, applicants are now required to provide more detailed documentation, undergo enhanced background checks, and submit biometric data in some cases. At first glance, this might seem like an attempt to shut down immigration entirely. However, the government's goal is to improve security, ensure the authenticity of applications, and reduce fraud, not to close the doors on qualified candidates. For those unaware of the changes, the process may feel overwhelming, but preparation and understanding can make all the difference. Immigration experts note that these changes reflect a global trend toward tighter border security and more rigorous application standards. Temporary workers, students, and permanent residents alike must now navigate additional steps, which can slow processing times. Media coverage often highlights the delays, creating the perception that Canada is blocking immigrants. In reality, the doors remain open, but the path is now more detailed and selective, rewarding applicants who are organized, thorough, and meet the government's updated criteria. For anyone planning to move to Canada, the key takeaway is anticipation and preparation. Gathering all required documents in advance, double-checking forms, and understanding the new requirements can prevent delays or rejection. While stricter rules may seem daunting, they are designed to protect both immigrants and the country, ensuring that every successful applicant is genuinely ready to contribute and integrate. This is another example of change being mistaken for closure. The opportunity is still there for those who plan wisely. Are you prepared for Canada's stricter visa rules? Share your thoughts below, and subscribe with just one click to stay ahead of all immigration updates. Number 7. Temporary student caps reduced. Canada has long been a top destination for international students, offering world-class education and opportunities to work while studying. However, in 2026, temporary student permits have been capped more strictly, limiting the number of new students admitted in certain categories. For many hopeful applicants, this creates the impression that Canada is closing its doors to foreign students. In truth, the government is simply balancing education demand with housing availability, job market needs, and long-term integration goals. The reduced numbers are not a ban, but a shift toward a more sustainable approach that ensures students can thrive once they arrive. Education experts explain that this change also reflects a focus on students in high-demand fields who can contribute to Canada's economy both during and after their studies. Programs in healthcare, technology, and trades are being prioritized, while other less in-demand programs may see stricter limits. Media reports often amplify the drama, making it sound like a complete shutdown, but the reality is that Canada still welcomes students, just in a more targeted and strategic manner. Understanding which programs are prioritized can significantly increase an applicant's chances of success. For prospective students, preparation is now more important than ever. Researching program eligibility, understanding the new caps, and aligning applications with Canada's economic priorities can turn perceived barriers into opportunities. By staying informed and acting strategically, students can still secure permits and even leverage these changes to find programs where demand is highest and job opportunities are plentiful. The key is adaptation and awareness, turning a seemingly restrictive policy into a well-planned pathway to study and live in Canada. Are you planning to study in Canada under the new caps? Comment your strategy below and subscribe with just one click to stay updated on every student visa change. Number 8. Growing anti-immigration sentiment domestically. In recent years, Canada has seen a noticeable rise in public debates and protests surrounding immigration, and 2026 is no exception. Some communities and political groups are voicing concerns about housing shortages, job competition, and strain on public services. While these discussions are often amplified by media, they create a perception that Canada is turning its back on immigrants. The truth is more nuanced. The government continues to welcome newcomers, but there is now a heightened sensitivity to public opinion and local challenges, which affects how certain programs are managed and prioritized. Observers point out that this growing domestic sentiment has led policymakers to adjust immigration strategies, focusing on applicants who can integrate quickly and contribute directly to the economy. Programs for temporary workers, students, and even permanent residents are being evaluated with a closer eye on economic impact and community readiness. These changes are not about exclusion, but about maintaining balance between growth and sustainability. However, the amplified media coverage often makes it seem like Canada is shutting the door entirely, feeding fear and uncertainty among potential immigrants. For anyone planning to move to Canada, understanding this context is critical. It's not just about rules and numbers. It's about navigating a society that is actively debating how to manage immigration responsibly. Those who are informed, flexible, and prepared can still access pathways to live, work, or study in Canada. In many ways, being aware of domestic sentiment allows applicants to tailor their approach, ensuring smoother acceptance and successful integration. Knowledge and strategy turn perception into opportunity. How do you feel about Canada's shifting public opinion on immigration? Comment your view below and subscribe with just one click to keep up with all major immigration updates. Number 9. Immigration policy is more targeted than before. Canada's immigration system is no longer focused on sheer numbers. In 2026, it has become more strategic and targeted than ever. The government is prioritizing applicants with skills, experience, and qualifications that meet the country's economic and labor market needs. This means programs are now designed to attract individuals who can integrate quickly and contribute immediately, rather than accepting large volumes of applicants across all categories. While some may see this as restrictive, it's really a shift toward quality over quantity, ensuring newcomers succeed and thrive once they arrive. Analysts explain that this targeting affects multiple streams, from express entry and provincial nominee programs to temporary work and study permits. By emphasizing in-demand skills, the government aims to reduce mismatches between labor supply and demand, address workforce shortages, and improve long-term economic stability. Many applicants who do not meet these specific criteria may feel excluded, creating the perception that Canada is closing its doors. In reality, the country is simply refining its immigration goals, welcoming those who can contribute meaningfully while maintaining social and economic balance. For prospective immigrants, understanding this targeted approach is essential. Preparing a strong application, aligning skills with Canada's priorities, and researching the most suitable programs can turn what seems like a limitation into an opportunity. Being proactive allows candidates to navigate the system effectively, ensuring they meet both eligibility requirements and the country's strategic objectives. Ultimately, Canada's targeted policies are not about rejection, but about making immigration more efficient, sustainable, and mutually beneficial for both newcomers and the nation. Do you think Canada's targeted immigration approach is fair? Share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe with just one click to stay updated on all major immigration changes. Number 10. Future laws could affect access. Looking ahead, Canada is considering new laws and policies that could influence immigration pathways, which is fueling speculation about closed doors. Bills such as the Strong Borders Act, Bill C-12, and other proposed regulations aim to tighten asylum procedures, adjust eligibility criteria, and improve border security. For many prospective immigrants, this creates uncertainty and fear that Canada might restrict access even further. While these measures are not yet fully implemented, the discussion itself generates headlines that make it seem like immigration is being blocked entirely. The reality, however, is that these laws are meant to streamline processes, ensure fairness, and manage resources effectively, not to stop people from moving to Canada. Experts emphasize that these legal adjustments are part of a broader strategy to balance public needs with immigration goals. The government wants to ensure that newcomers can settle successfully without overloading housing, healthcare, or employment systems. As a result, some programs may experience temporary pauses or additional requirements, particularly in sensitive areas like asylum or humanitarian immigration. While the changes may feel dramatic, they reflect a careful, forward-looking approach to immigration management rather than an outright closure. For those planning to immigrate, staying informed about potential laws and regulatory shifts is critical. Understanding upcoming proposals, monitoring government announcements, and preparing applications that meet evolving criteria will be key to navigating Canada's system successfully. In many ways, knowledge of future laws turns uncertainty into an advantage, allowing applicants to act strategically and avoid surprises. Canada is not shutting its doors. It is refining access to ensure sustainable, safe, and effective immigration policies for the years ahead. Are you ready for Canada's potential new immigration laws? Comment your thoughts below, and subscribe with just one click to stay ahead of every major change. As we've seen throughout this video, the idea that Canada is closing its doors in 2026 is more myth than reality. What's actually happening is a series of carefully planned adjustments to immigration policies designed to ensure that newcomers can thrive economically and socially while helping Canada meet its labor market and population goals. From stricter visa screenings and higher competition for express entry to reduced temporary permits and changes in provincial programs, every modification has a purpose: to create a sustainable and strategic immigration system rather than to block people from entering. Understanding these changes is crucial for anyone planning to study, work, or live in Canada. It's no longer just about submitting an application. It's about preparation, research, and adapting to new priorities. Applicants who align their skills, education, and plans with Canada's current needs will still find clear pathways to success. Even the stricter rules and cap programs are opportunities in disguise, guiding newcomers towards sectors and regions where demand is highest and integration is most effective. At the heart of these updates is a message of balance. Canada remains welcoming, but it wants to ensure that every newcomer can succeed, contribute, and settle comfortably. By staying informed, planning strategically, and understanding the new rules, prospective immigrants can navigate the system effectively and turn what seems like barriers into opportunities. The perception of closed doors is largely driven by headlines and misunderstanding, but the facts show a country that is still open, evolving, and selective for long-term success. We put a lot of effort into making videos like this to keep you informed, so let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to watch our previous videos, support our channel, and subscribe. It's just one click to stay updated on all the latest immigration news and tips.